On November 13th, 2025, Starbucks' Red Cup Day took a dramatic turn. Thousands of baristas walked out, trading aprons for picket signs. Instead of celebrating, workers launched a strike, marking the start of a long fight for their rights. For these baristas, the holiday season became a time of protest, not festivity. The decision to strike meant going without pay during the holidays, but they felt they had no other choice. After months of stalled talks with Starbucks, workers demanded a contract guaranteeing fair treatment. The strike, organized by Starbucks Workers United, was a bold move to show unity and demand attention. Empty stores and picket lines sent a clear message. Business as usual was over until their voices were heard. As Christmas Eve arrives, the strike has lasted nearly 6 weeks, testing the resolve of everyone involved. Baristas have endured cold weather and financial hardship, sparking a national conversation about workers' rights. Now many are returning to work, but the fight is far from over. This story will explore what led to this moment and what comes next in their ongoing dispute. The baristas' actions have already changed the conversation around labor at one of the world's most famous companies. Their unity has forced Starbucks and the public to pay attention. The strike is a turning point in the company's history. The next chapter is just beginning. The strike was the result of long-standing frustration over stalled contract negotiations. Baristas accused Starbucks of dragging out talks and refusing to bargain in good faith. Their demands were simple: higher wages, better staffing, and predictable schedules. Understaffing left workers overwhelmed and exhausted, while inconsistent hours made life unpredictable. These were basic requests for a better workplace, not radical demands. Beyond pay and staffing, workers accused Starbucks of union busting, punishing organizers and trying to scare others from joining. Hundreds of unfair labor practice complaints were filed by the union. The strike became a protest against both stalled talks and alleged illegal tactics. Baristas wanted respect and a real voice in their workplace. The strike was their most powerful tool to force Starbucks to the bargaining table. They hoped stopping work would finally make the company listen. The fight was about dignity, fairness, and the right to organize. Workers demanded that Starbucks respect their legal rights. The strike was a stand for all service workers seeking better conditions. It was a call for change across the industry. The baristas' determination set the stage for a historic showdown. The Red Cup Rebellion became the largest strike in Starbucks history, spreading to 215 stores nationwide. Thousands of baristas walked off the job, sacrificing pay to fight for a better future. The strike scale showed that frustration was widespread, not limited to a few locations. The union's strength grew as more stores voted to join during the strike. Over 6 weeks, 9 new stores unionized, and hundreds more workers joined. This was not a symbolic protest. It was open-ended, with no set return date. Workers supported each other, sharing resources and keeping spirits high. By striking on Red Cup Day, they ensured maximum public and media attention. The protest hit Starbucks where it hurt: profits and reputation. The strike's size and duration made it impossible to ignore. It marked a critical chapter in both Starbucks and the American labor movement's history. The Red Cup Rebellion inspired workers far beyond coffee shops. It proved that collective action can challenge even the biggest corporations. The baristas' unity became a symbol of modern labor power. Their fight resonated across the country. The striking baristas found powerful allies in the public. Many customers joined the "no contract, no coffee" boycott, refusing to buy Starbucks until workers won a fair contract. Over 225,000 people signed a pledge to support the strike. Social media amplified the movement, spreading the boycott nationwide. Supporters visited picket lines, bringing food, drinks, and encouragement. Donations to strike funds helped baristas pay rent and buy groceries. This solidarity kept morale high and the strike alive. The boycott sent a clear message to Starbucks. Its brand and reputation were at risk. The public support transformed the strike into a broader social movement. Community backing gave workers the strength to continue. The alliance between baristas and customers became a force for change. Together, they demanded fairness and dignity at work. The Starbucks strike drew attention from politicians at every level. Over 180 officials from 25 states urged Starbucks to stop union busting and bargain fairly. Senators and representatives joined picket lines, amplifying the workers' voices. State attorneys general signaled they were watching for labor law violations. Political support framed the strike as a fight for fundamental rights, not just a workplace dispute. The coalition of public and political allies made the baristas' cause impossible to ignore. After nearly 6 weeks, the union announced a strategic shift. Most striking baristas would return to work. This was not a surrender, but a move to continue the fight from inside the stores. By making an unconditional offer to return, workers protected their jobs and regained paychecks. About 75% of strikers went back, while a dedicated group stayed on the picket line to keep public pressure alive. This two-part strategy balanced financial relief with ongoing protest. The union aimed to organize from within while maintaining a visible presence outside. The fight was far from over, just entering a new phase. The baristas adapted, ready for a long-term struggle. Baristas like Christy Gomoljak explained the return as a new beginning, not an end. Returning to work meant securing livelihoods, organizing co-workers, and continuing to push for change. The strike had built national awareness and a powerful coalition. Now, the focus shifted to internal organizing and preparing for future actions. Workers returned as experienced organizers, more united than ever. The union warned Starbucks, if negotiations don't improve, more strikes could follow in January. The return was conditional. Workers were ready to escalate if needed. The baristas' determination and strategy remained strong. Their voices made clear. The fight for fairness was far from over. They were playing the long game. As Christmas Eve arrives, the core issue, a fair contract, remains unresolved. The union demands Starbucks address unfair labor practices and negotiate seriously. If progress stalls, more strikes could erupt in January. Starbucks faces a choice: work with the union or risk more boycotts and damage to its brand. The Red Cup rebellion has already reshaped public perception. The company's next move will define its legacy. Baristas are back at work, but ready to walk out again if needed. The fight has entered a new strategic phase. The world is watching to see if this historic strike leads to a historic contract. The struggle for fairness at Starbucks is far from over. The Starbucks strike is a lesson in the power of organizing. Baristas built a national movement using both social media and traditional picket lines. Their fight inspired workers everywhere and showed the strength of community solidarity. The no contract, no coffee boycott proved customers care about workers, not just coffee. Political support pushed labor rights into the national spotlight. The baristas' resilience and strategy offer a blueprint for future movements. Their unity and adaptability turned a workplace dispute into a national cause. The real strength of any union lies in its active, united members, just like the baristas at Starbucks.